Welcome to Let's Learn by NSK. Landing a job at TCS or Infosys can feel impossible. Today, I'll break down the most common and tricky mainframe interview questions. We'll cover everything from Comp3 to JCL, SQL abends, and SB37 errors. My goal? To get you prepared and confident for your interview. We're tackling 29 of the hottest questions. By the end, you'll be speaking mainframe like a pro. Let's get started. Here's your mainframe interview survival guide. First up, Comp versus Comp3. Comp stores numbers in pure binary fast for calculations, but can waste space. Comp3, or packed decimal, squeezes 2 digits into a byte and adds a sign at the end, great for saving space, especially with money. Downside? Comp3 needs a little unpacking before math, so it's a bit slower. Comp is fast. Comp3 is efficient. Know when to use each. That's the difference. How do you check if a Comp3 field is positive or negative? The sign is in the last nibble of the final byte, C for positive, D for negative. Check this in the hex representation. To change the sign, move the field to a numeric edited field with a sign, or use redefines to manipulate the last byte directly. Master this, and you'll impress any interviewer. That's Comp3 sign handling. How do programs call subprograms? Static versus dynamic calls. Static call. Subprogram code is bundled, fast, but requires recompilation if the subprogram changes. Dynamic call. Subprogram is loaded at runtime, flexible, allowing updates without touching the main program, but slower. Static is fast but rigid. Dynamic is flexible but has overhead. Know when to use each. Remember, static =sign bundled, dynamic =sign separate. That's the difference. On to the next. SQL abends. Your program crashed. -805, plan not bound. -811, select returned more than one row. To process multiple rows, use a cursor. Declare open, fetch, close. Declare sets up the query, open runs it, fetch gets rows, close releases resources. Always close your cursor. Leaving it open locks resources. Know these abends and cursor steps. It's a must for interviews. Handle errors. JCL, Job Control Language, is the mainframe's instruction manual. It tells the system what program to run, what files to use, and how much memory to allocate. Without JCL, nothing happens. Every batch job starts with JCL. It's not a programming language, but it's essential for workflow control. Master JCL, and you control the mainframe. Simple as that. GDG, Generation Data Group, is your data's time machine. It manages versions of files automatically, so you never lose yesterday's data. Define a GDG with a base name and a limit. Each new file gets a unique generation number. When you hit the limit, the oldest version is deleted or uncatalogued. Key parameters: limit, empty, scratch. GDGs make backups and versioning effortless. Interviewers love this topic. With GDG, limit 15 and empty, creating the 16th generation, empty uncatalogs previous generations. They vanish from the catalog. Files may still exist on disk, but the system can't find them unless you know the exact location. Combine empty with no scratch and you get invisible orphaned files. Understand these parameters to avoid messy dataset management. Inner join, SQL's most basic join, combines rows from 2 tables where keys match, only returns records with matching keys in both tables. No match, no row. It's the workhorse of database queries. Know it inside out. Left outer join shows all rows from the left table, even if there's no match in the right. Unmatched right side columns are null. Use it to find, for example, customers with no orders. It's your tool for finding missing matches. Simple, powerful, and common in interviews. What happens to unmatched rows in joins? Inner join unmatched rows are ignored. Left join unmatched right rows are ignored. Left rows always show. Right join unmatched left rows are ignored. Right rows always show. Full outer join. Everything shows with nulls where there's no match. The join type decides the fate of unmatched rows. VSAM, Virtual Storage Access Method, is the mainframe's advanced file system. Types: ESDS sequential, RRDs by record number, KSDS by key. KSDS uses an index for fast direct access, perfect for transaction systems, defined in JCL with IDCAMs and the indexed parameter. Index points to data, enabling quick lookups. It's the backbone of many mainframe applications. Know your VSAM types. In COBOL, perform is how you organize and control your code. Use it to break programs into reusable chunks, paragraphs or sections. It makes code readable, modular, and easy to debug. You can perform a single paragraph, arrange, or loop with it. Without perform, COBOL would be chaos. It's essential for structured programming. Types of perform in COBOL. Simple perform executes once. Perform until loops until a condition is true. Perform times, fixed number of iterations. Perform varying like a for loop with a counter. Inline perform, code block between perform and end perform. Each type fits different logic needs. Master them all. Perform varying is COBOL's flexible loop. Syntax, perform paragraph varying counter from 1 by 1 until counter, n. Use it to process tables or records with a counter. You can nest them for multi-dimensional tables. It's the COBOL equivalent of a for loop. Essential for efficient code. Practice this pattern. JCL condition parameters control job flow. Cond on job or exec lets you skip steps based on return codes. If/then/else/endif is a modern readable way to handle conditional logic. Use these to build robust, error-tolerant job streams. Know the difference between cond and if/then. It's crucial for production jobs. Don't overlook this. Job failed on step 48 of 50. Use restart =sign step name in JCL to rerun from that step. But your job must be restartable. Temporary files and datasets need the right disp settings. Use disp on new catlg keep to retain files after events. For long jobs, checkpoint and restart logic in COBOL is key. Restart saves time and resources. Know how to design for it. It's a must for support roles. Every COBOL program has 4 divisions: identification, program name and documentation, environment, links to the system and files, data defines all variables and record layouts, procedure contains the executable logic. This structure keeps COBOL organized and readable. Know each division's purpose. What if you insert an order with a customer ID that doesn't exist? The database throws a referential integrity error, SQL code -530 in DB2. It means you tried to reference a non-existent row. Fix, insert the customer first or use a valid customer ID. Shows you understand database relationships. Don't miss this detail. Be ready to discuss a real project. Start with the business goal. What problem did you solve? Describe your role and the technologies you used. COBOL, DB2, VSAM, JCL, GDG. Explain your specific contributions. Mention how your work fit into the bigger process. Use keywords and be specific. This is your chance to shine. Expect. What issues did you face and how did you resolve them? Give one technical and one process example. Technical, maybe a performance issue fixed by optimizing SQL and rebinding. Process, maybe unclear requirements solved by clarifying with stakeholders. Show how you communicated and solved problems. Don't pretend everything was perfect. Problem solving is key. Know these SQL codes +305. Warning, missing not null value, default used. -913, deadlock or timeout, resource locked. -904, resource unavailable, table or index offline. Fixes, provide values, commit more often, or contact the DBA. These codes come up often, be ready to explain them. SRange and NOSRange are COBOL compiler options. SRange adds runtime checks for out-of-range subscripts. Great for testing but slower. NOSRange skips checks. Faster but risky in production. Use SRange in development, NOSRange in production. Know the trade-offs. It's about safety versus speed. Interviewers expect you to know this. COBOL with embedded SQL needs a pre-compile step. The DB2 pre-compiler extracts SQL into a DBRM and replaces exec SQL blocks with COBOL calls. The output is pure COBOL, ready for the regular compiler. This step is essential for DB2 programs. Know the flow source, pre-compile, compile, bind. It's a common interview question. S0C4 protection exception. Your program tried to access memory. It shouldn't, often due to a bad subscript or unopened file. The OS shuts it down to prevent damage. To fix, check your index's file status and logic. Trace the error in the dump or compile listing. S0C4 is common, know how to debug it. It's a classic mainframe error. SB37, out of disk space. Your program tried to extend a dataset, but the volume was full. Check disk usage, clean up, or adjust JCL space parameters. Not usually a coding error, but you must know what it means. Related SD37, no secondary allocation, SE37, out of extents. Understand these for production support. To find string length in COBOL, use inspect to tally characters before the first space, or function length trim string in modern COBOL. Inspect is old school. Function length is newer and easier. Know both methods. Interviewers may ask for either. Shows you know traditional and modern COBOL. Practice both. Need to compare two files in JCL? Use IEBCompare for a simple block-by-block comparison. For more options, use Super C ISRSUPC. It can ignore columns and handle different formats. Both tools return codes to indicate differences. Know when to use each. Utilities are your friend. KSDS is used in real-time systems like CICS for fast record retrieval. AIX, alternate index, lets you access KSDS by more than one key. For example, look up by SSN or last name. AIX is a separate dataset pointing to the base KSDS. Multiple indexed paths equals sign flexible, fast access, essential for transaction systems. For restartable COBOL programs, use a commit counter and a control file. Commit after every N records, update the control file with the last processed key. On restart, read the control file and skip already processed records. Prevents duplicates and allows safe restarts. Critical for large batch jobs, shows advanced mainframe skills. That's it. 29 questions, 29 answers. We covered data storage, JCL, ABENS, and real-world problem solving. Don't just memorize. Understand the why behind each answer. These concepts power the world's biggest companies. Review, practice, and apply them to your own project stories. If this helped, like and subscribe. Drop your questions or success stories in the comments. Good luck, you've got this.